Good morning, LHS. I'm Katie.
And I'm Charlotte.
Welcome back to the advisory report for Wednesday, May 4th.
Before we continue, teachers will lead in a salute to the flag and a review of the school's core values.
Respect,
Integrity,
Safety,
engagement, unity,
pride.
On Friday, May 13th, between 8 and 2 p.m., Lincoln High School will host a blood drive in the gym. This year, the blood drive is very special as it is honoring Miss Patricia Vivari, our own LHS librarian.
Ms. Vivari is a former donor and a current blood and palliative recipient as a person living with lymphoma.
You will need an appointment to participate. Go to www.ribc.org/drives. The sponsor code is 0082.
6-year-old donors will need parental permission and can secure a permission slip on the website.
The NHS banquet is being held at Kirkbride tomorrow at 6.
And now for a moment in history. On May 4th, 1970, in Kent, Ohio, 28 National Guardsmen fired their weapons at a group of anti-war demonstrators on the Kent State University campus, killing 4 students, wounding 8, and permanently paralyzing another. The tragedy was a watershed moment for a nation divided by the conflict in Vietnam and further galvanized the anti-war movement.
And on May 4th, 1776, Rhode Island declared its independence 2 months before the other 12 colonies got around to formally breaking ties with King George III. Our state was the first to declare independence and the last to sign the Declaration. Happy Independence Day!
And finally, in 1961, the first Freedom Ride, a political protest against the segregation of interstate bus travel in the South, began as a group of white and black Americans departed from Washington, D.C. on buses bound for New Orleans.
And let's not forget, may the 4th be with you.
That's all for today's report. Be sure to rise up, LHS.
Oh, Lord.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
Benjamin Franklin was famously known for his inventions and creativity. Today, we spoke to Lincoln High School sophomore Cassidy Dawkins and ceramics teacher Heather Binder about their own ceramic creations.
I started doing ceramics a while ago. When I was like 9, I took this class at Artist Exchange, but I didn't really keep with it. And then when I was in Disney freshman year, I was just moving to Lincoln, and I was on a call with my guidance counselor, and she was like, how about ceramics? I'm like, okay, sure. And then I ended up taking 3 art classes that year, so then I just kind of stuck with it. So whenever I just hop on the wheel, I just kind of let my hands do whatever I'm thinking, and even though I'm not really thinking about it, it's just the only thing that's like happening right now, so I'm really able to translate whatever I'm feeling into my pieces. And a lot of the time when I'm like upset or if I'm mad, my pieces just come out better because it takes a lot of like strength to center your ceramics, to center the clay. So that way it just kind of starts me off really well because I get it centered so fast, and then I'm like, oh, I'm so good at this. Like, let me make a really good piece.
There is absolutely no secret to her success. It's all about practice and dedication. Just like anything else, just like a musical instrument. You can't pick it up and expect to be able to play it if you haven't played it in, 3 years. You're not gonna be able to play it well. She is in here all the time. She is always practicing. She's in here for every Lions block. She's got me booked for Lions block like 2 months in advance. And then she's here Mondays after school, and she also goes someplace else to the Artist Exchange in Cranston to work on the wheel there as well. So, and she's also one of my ceramics interns, which means that she's in here like basically every day.
So what I'm doing now is just wiping the bits of glaze from the flange or gallery, I'm not sure, I forget which one it's called. So when I have my lidded jar, it fits perfectly and it's not gonna stick together. The entire process is a really long one because after I throw the piece, I have to let it dry so I can trim it, which is when I flip it upside down on the wheel and then I like take off the bottom piece and I make a little foot ring. So that's the only part that touches like the table and the kiln. And then I leave that unglazed, but I glaze the rest of the piece. And then after I bisque fire it, then I have to glaze it, and then I have to glaze fire it. So the entire process takes a very long time.
There are definitely some people who are more inclined than others. But generally it's something that you can develop. It's experience, but you have to want to do it. You know, there needs to be that drive to actually practice it, and if you don't practice it, then you'll never get good at it. You know what I mean? Again, it's the same thing like with a musical instrument. There are some people who are definitely, they're quote unquote gifted, right? Well, part of that gift is their dedication to learning how to play everything, learning everything about it. And it's the same thing with the fine arts. If you're not willing to put in that time, then it's not, you know, it's probably not your thing.
So it really depends on how much clay you're using. I started today with a lot of clay, and then my piece didn't really go as planned, so I just cut it off. So now I'm just working with a little piece. But it can take me anywhere between like 3 minutes to like an hour to throw a piece. Like, and there was this piece I threw blindfolded too, which was pretty cool, that I did in like 3 minutes because it wasn't that good. But it just really depends on like how much clay you're using and what you want to do and like how thick you want the walls.
When I did my undergraduate work, it was all drawing and painting, mostly drawing with charcoal. Never saw myself as a 3D person ever. Could have never predicted this, but what happened was it was sort of one of those silver linings to a bad situation where one of our positions here at the high school was cut. So our ceramics teacher went down to the middle school, and we were just left, Miss Kalenda and I, with teaching the ceramics classes. And we were not happy about this. It's like when you guys have to take a class that you really don't want to take. It was that same sort of thing because we were both more 2D people. But as soon as I got my hands into the clay, I just became obsessed. It was like all of a sudden what had never resonated with me before suddenly resonated, and it became a passion for me. And now I'm now in my thesis semester for a master's degree in it. So, you know, taking it to different levels. I mean, I just emptied a kiln last night. I'm up at Mass Art, and it's such a humbling community that it's really amazing to be part of it.
Hey, watch out! Watch out!